We are live. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's had a really good day. Hi, Jerry. Hi, John. I think the first question probably everyone's asking is, where is John?
I'm at a Property Mark event. We've got our regional execs day tomorrow, so we're having a bit of a get together tonight, and then it's a full day of learning. I think there's about 70 odd of us in a room tomorrow, so that should be good. So I'm in Leamington Spa at some sort of conference centre.
And you were just
I'm not going to comment on it because I'm having breakfast in the morning, and people might be watching this, but I won't be coming back. Let's put it that way.
And you were just telling us that you're going to bump into someone who's quite famous.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'm meant to tell you, but I'm going to tell you.
No, don't tell him.
No, I don't, because I think the guys who are here tomorrow don't know.
Don't.
Yeah, so put it one way. He was famous for never winning anything and always coming last. Let's just leave it at that.
There's a lot of people that could apply to.
Yeah, Sunderland Football Club.
Is it a politician?
No, I wouldn't come if it was a politician. I wouldn't be here.
And how are you, Jerry? You good?
Yeah, really good. Just come back from 2 days at a conference in the ICC in Birmingham, which was really good. Really good.
Excellent. Did you learn a lot?
You know what? I learned so much that halfway through the second day, I had to leave because it was all getting too much. Not getting too much, but I just thought, I'm not retaining any of this. And I knew they were videoing it as well. Mm-hmm. So me and the guy I was with, we just wanted to get back. But it was really, really good. And a lot of the themes, I think I'll discuss in this as well when it's my turn, sort of thing.
Excellent. But on that note, let's have your topic of the day, or one of the topics of the day.
Do you want me to go first? Yeah.
Yeah, go on. You hit it.
Right. So autumn content. I don't think that right. So the topic matters. The tone matters more, because, as you know, anyone will tell you, if you switch on the news, we're all doomed. Whether you're in the property market or just whether you've got a pulse, you know, it's COVID lockdown almost Mark II. We're all going to hell in a handcart type stuff, which we're not. It's going to be tough times, but I think the good agents will be able to navigate through. I think when I mean about the tone of the content, it's like I said to you off air, Paul, I tried to tell a few agents, stop using the word boom, property boom, because you're implying what happens next after a boom. It's always a bust. So don't use that in your copy or your communications as well. And this is a broader point. This is a communicative point. You've got to be upbeat. Highlight the positives. People are still moving. There's still but there's, you know, the 3 Ds. There's not actually 3 Ds. There's 5 Ds. We did an article about it. So you've got death, divorce, debt. You've still got a bit of demand, and you've got downsizers. People will. I think that's going to be a trend in the market. You know, people thinking, I've got this house. I need to get some money quickly, or I want to secure my future a bit quicker than normal. I'm going to downsize, and me and the missus are going to take that extra 100 grand and sort of like look after ourselves. So I think it's really important. The tone of your content needs to be, I was going to say upbeat, but it has to be positive.
Can I just jump in there? I really liked what you did, Jerry, about when, you know, God rest her soul, the Queen passed away, and you came out straight away and you said, hold all your content. And I think that's right. Not only is it the tone, it's knowing the right time to post something and when not. And I saw some, not necessarily in the property industry, just some local businesses who had posted something and they got slated. Yeah. You'll have your community Facebook groups where, you know, they want to know which is the best Chinese, what time does Asda shut, what time are the skills going back. Like, basically, not put it one way, they're not, the intellectuals don't exactly flock to it, put it that way. However, it could be Armageddon for a business if you get things wrong.
Yes, and that was the scheduled posts more than anything, you know, because you think, right, I'm not going to post anything, but you forget that you've scheduled some posts. So that was the point I was making when the Queen died. I think now, in times like this, it's important to up the ante with your communications, not just your content. Just get stuff out there. Just be more seen. I had this conversation with a client who's leaving us, little client, only been with us 6 months, and I actually said to them, "Where are you going?" And they said, "We're not." I said, "Look, honestly, I'd rather you go to somebody else Won't be as good, but I'd rather you, I'd rather you go to somebody else because your marketing's going to stop, and your problem that you think you're going to have is going to be like compounded by 10 because no one will know you're there. You know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good opportunity for the really good agents as well. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. Just go for it.
Well, we were talking off air, and you know, I do a lot of reading on YouTube and speaking to a lot of people, and you know, people have been through several recessions, and what the general consensus is in a recession, it's very, very rare that a recession or an economic downturn or whatever you want to call it totally decimates a particular industry, and there are always winners and losers, and the winners tend to be the ones who are bold and pivot and adapt and then evolve and change and take on new things, or just double down and do more marketing, more advertising. And the ones that don't are the ones that are cutting the costs. And there's a good phrase, you know, cutting costs on advertising, marketing to save time, to save money, is like taking your watch off to save time. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
The guy from Brewdog, the COO and president, David McDowell, said at this conference, he said, like, when it comes to a recession or tough times, be brave or be dead.
Yeah.
Mm. Do you know what I mean? And Brewdog, $1 billion business. You know, love them or hate them, they're $1 billion business. So yeah, just good tone. Be positive. Lift people up rather than drive people to top of themselves and beat your head.
Good, good. So I'm going to talk about crafting the perfect customer experience. And do you know what, guys? It's as if we've actually spoken beforehand, because these things are coming on. It's prompting us. Jerry gets 5 minutes. I'll get 5 minutes. Paul will. I mean, what the hell's going on? Talk about structure and systems and processes. So, sort of taking on that theme from Jerry when he's talking about tough times. There's two sorts of moments in any business when you deal with a consumer, right? And that's who we deal with. And that is a so what moment or a wow moment. And if it's a so what moment, you are literally the same as everybody else. You're not memorable. You won't be remembered. You don't give a good customer experience. And notice I don't say service. Good customer service should be an everyday thing. A good customer experience is every interaction. Because customer service is if you drop a fork at a restaurant, how quickly it gets replaced. That's service. Or, you know, you lose your handbag, and not me personally, but if you lost your handbag at a restaurant or you know, the cloakroom, and say, oh, we'll get it back to you, or we'll get somebody to call you. That's a service. An experience is something that gives you a memory. It's something that's special, that stands out, that makes sure that you're remembered and you're remarkable. So, and it can be quite different. One, you've got to get, it's a mindset thing. It is literally a different way of thinking. What I talk about with my guys when we're coaching them is you've got to get in the mindset of everything you do has to wow the customer. You've got to be different. Josh Fegan, the little Aussie chap, he talks about in the absence of differentiation, people buy on price. So if you're the same as everybody else, the only differentiating factor is going to be who's the cheapest.
Yeah,
that is a race to the bottom, like we talk about. You've got to be so bloody good that people go, I don't care what you charge within reason. I'm going to come and, you know, I need you. I want to be with you. Think of, you know, Rolex, Rolls-Royce, Kuoni, Tiffany's, Boodles, anywhere that's a high-end stuff. Yes, it's the product, but it's the service. Emirates, Qatar Airways, it's the service that you get with it. You know, so if you think about where you've had a brilliant, brilliant customer experience. I mean, me and Gemma, my wife, were talking about this a couple of years ago, and we're talking about this little restaurant in Hartlepool. That the food was okay, it was all right. It wasn't the best, but it was the way that they made you feel when you went in there, and they made a fuss over you and the fuss over the kids, and it was this, and it was genuinely a nice place, and we kept going back. Although there were better restaurants, probably closer, we kept going back because of the whole vibe, the whole experience. So the best advice I can give is have a look at your business, look at all the interaction points, look at every time you interact with the consumer in any way, shape or form, and start there and make sure, what can I do to wow them? Is it how I answer the phone? Is it the speed I answer the phone? Is it the information I take from them? Is it things like, you know, birthdays or you know, weddings or bar mitzvahs or whatever? I'm going to send them flowers or everything. One of the things we do for the perfect market appraisal process is it's the questions we ask and everything else that leads up to putting the phone down. Because if you ask really good questions, you get really good answers.
Yeah.
Shit in, shit out type of thing. You ask crap questions, you don't get the answers. One of the things that we do is Have you or your husband or your wife, depending on who you speak to, have you personally done any works to the property? Oh, yeah, my husband fitted the kitchen. Brilliant. That gets fed back to the valuer. So when the valuer's there, he's stroking this kitchen top worktop and you go, wow, this is awesome. Who fitted this? It's brilliant.
Can I just add something about the question thing? And it's not a plug for my guides. A little bit it is. One of the questions that a lot of the guys who use our guides really well ask is, why are you moving? You know, I know that's a common question, but I'm amazed that I'm amazed that's not a question every agent asks.
Yeah. You know,
why are you moving?
One of the biggest mistakes that I hear that a lot of agents make is that when they have that first contact with someone, they're asking about where they want to go rather than asking where they are now or where they've been. And I think if you ask those sort of questions, like you say, you learn so much more, and then you can make those recommendations about helping them view properties and obviously sell properties. So just asking, you know, where you're at the moment, why did you buy that property? How long have you been in the area? You know, what made you buy the property that you're in at the moment? And then moving on to, you know, actually processing them as such to view properties. So, yeah, I totally agree. I was going to say, do you think also there's, John, do you think also there's such a small gap, isn't there, actually, for agents to impress people?
Oh, without a shout, you get one chance to make a good first impression. So make sure it's worth remembering. You know, another tip is use the words or the acronym TED: tell, explain, describe. Tell me about your home. So here's one. So if I'm going to view Jerry's house and Jerry knows nothing about the property industry, allegedly. So, you know, say you didn't know what you were looking for, and I just, you know, and I was your typical agent, high street agent, I'd be like, is it a 3-bedroom? Yeah. Good garden? Yeah. Got a big garden? Yeah. Yeah. Garage? Yeah. Double garage? Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Got a shed down the bottom I work in. I dust around in.
Not
right?
Shed.
Not office. A shed. Office block. I've got an office block. Alice. Well, that's what most agents and how they operate. It's very closed questions. But if you use TED, people like talking about themselves and they like talking about the property. So I'd say, Jerry, if I'm showing my viewers or my applicants around your property, explain to me the route that I would take them, describing all the best features of the property, starting at the front door. It's the same question, kind of, just turned on its head. And now I'm going to get to know about your lovely cornice or your fireplace that's original or this or this or this. So it's about asking world-class questions. You get world-class answers. And that will only help feed into the valuer to help convert and win the business.
I really like that question. What made you buy the property?
Yeah.
I really like that one because, you know, like they make it, oh, right, it's near the sea, it's blah, blah, blah. And then whoever...
You use that to sell it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So summarizing the customer experience thing would be, look at all the touch points where you're communicating in some way, shape or form, verbally, digitally, face to face with your customer, and how can you improve it? How can you wow them? From answering the phone to, you know, asking for information to sending them stuff. It's everything. Just look at every single little bit and how can you differentiate yourself? And you can't go over the top, right? You literally can't. I know you can think, well, I'll send them a private jet to pick them up to the viewings. Well, if you can afford it, go for it. Just differentiate yourselves from your competitors, because if you don't differentiate, I think there's a good one, Jerry. If you're not differentiating yourself, you're dying in business.
Yeah. Be different or die.
Yeah.
Paul, wow, look at that. Paul, you're going to talk about Meta Facebook platforms agents must be using right now.
I tell you what, I'm impressed. This is really not. This is the perfect customer experience.
This is great.
Had a load of agents asking this week, or the last couple of weeks actually, about all these different platforms now. And I think you're going to cover one later as well, Jerry. But there's so many out there, so many places to put content. Do I need to be doing reels? Do I need to be doing stories? What's the difference between them? And the answer is yes, you do need to be doing them, and there's reason for that. You know, for example, you know, stories and reels are slightly different. Reels will get you in front of new people, get you discovered. So at the moment, we all know that short video, quick digestible video, snackable video is what everyone's looking for now. So if you're not doing reels, you really need to be looking at doing reels, just because at the moment that's what Instagram and Facebook is really pushing out. It's what they want to work. and you're getting loads of free exposure. But think of Reels as sort of a high discoverability. That's what's going to get you in front of lots of new people. Stories, which is another platform which people say, well, do I need to be doing stories if I'm doing Reels? That's going to get you kept in front of people that are showing interest in you. So that's sort of anyone who engages with you or is following you, that's where you can easily keep in front of them on a daily basis. And that's low discoverability, but it's there to be put back in front of people which are showing interest in you. So loads of different places, but Reels is definitely the place at the moment, and stories is still there and something that people should be doing as well. So that was the main thing. And I think at the moment, it's probably going to get more and more important that we are easily discoverable, and we are putting content out that's being seen by people. So definitely think about using those platforms to keep yourself top of mind and get in front of new people.
If you had to choose one, Reels or stories, you had to choose one, you had a gun to your head, which one would you choose?
So I would use Reels. There's no doubt at the moment that Instagram and Facebook are pushing Reels to compete with TikTok, so they're going to give that extra exposure and reward to people that are using it. It's great for agents to use because it's short-term video. Anything between 15 seconds to 90 seconds long is where that content fits. So for agents, all of a sudden you've gone from having to do these sort of 2-3 minute videos to sort of very short snackable content, and it can also be quite raw as well, so you don't have to get all polished and looking good. So when you're doing Reels, think about either educating or entertainment. That's what's Reels for. So if you're going to be using Reels, think about property tours, think about tips and advice. If you want to do that sort of what you're doing throughout the day content, then look at stories for that. So yeah, it would be Reels without doubt. Lots of exposure for free on Reels.
That leads us almost seamlessly on to, does it? Oh, look at that! Jesus Christ, we're on fire. I'll tell you what. I hope there's a fire extinguisher in that hotel, JP.
There is, just outside my door. Do you want us to go get it?
Go and get it, because you might need it in a minute. So I'll be really quick with the rise of TikTok. So at this conference, they had this section, like you look through the agenda and you think, I can't be asked to go to the TikTok one. I went and I was amazed, because this is a stat they used, and it's from somebody called Cloudflare, which is a recognizable internet traffic rankings company. 2020, TikTok was the 7th most, it had the most internet traffic, the 7th. You got your usual ones like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, blah, blah, blah. 2021, guess where TikTok was ranked by this Cloudflare lot?
Go on then.
Have a guess.
First, second, third?
But hedge your bets, JP.
You
are the Hillary Clinton of guessing. It was number one. And basically what the guy said, and this really changed my way of thinking, he said, don't dismiss it out of hand. He said the demographic for people that are over 30 is growing, so it's a growing platform. Apparently the algorithm is amazing. He said it's not where Facebook is yet, even though there might be more traffic, but that could be younger kids spending longer, so that can sort of make the figures look a bit skewed. But it's something for agents just to consider, just to start looking at it. The easiest way to do it is what I did. I downloaded the app. I've never had the app before. I won't let my daughter have it, by the way. She's 10. She ain't getting access, too addictive. And I just tested the algorithm. And I've got to say, it's bloody frightening, because I didn't put anything into it. It somehow knows I like football and business. Yeah. So I'm seeing football and business stuff. I'm not seeing dances. I'm seeing do you know what I mean? Because of the swipe.
The thing with TikTok is it is definitely more of a suggestion platform. So you're right. The algorithm is really good at suggesting content that it's really sort of looking at what you're doing, watching, and it will suggest some great content to you. The other thing that we're actually testing TikTok ads at the moment, as well as obviously you got the organic free stuff, but they're actually starting to roll out cities in the advertising on TikTok now. So before it was pretty much England or Greater London, and that was it. So now you can target certain cities. So things like Nottingham, Manchester, they're starting to pop up. So That's something, once you can start targeting by cities, then if you're an agent in one of those cities, you can use it not just to generate leads, but to retarget and stay top of mind. So you have a bit of content that you want everyone to see, and they might go on Facebook and they see it there. They walk away, go to Instagram, see it on there. Then they go on TikTok and they see you there. Effectively, they can't not see you. So TikTok's definitely a good platform.
Yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter, quite frankly.
No, it's good. No, I'll tell you what, my son's on at TikTok, and he was telling me some of the, I mean, him and his mates just talk about football, and they do videos of, it's more picking teams, like they'll pick the World 11 and stuff, and they'll argue about who's the best. And he was saying, oh, one got like 10,000 views, Dad. And I'm like, 10,000? Son, you don't know 10 people. Like, how? He says, oh, no, he's got one mate who got 150,000 views because he did a stupid video. So the reach on TikTok for 12-year-olds is immense, but let alone, you know, adults who've got all these networking connections. So yeah, it's something to seriously consider. Yeah,
that's the point. Just have a look at it and work out if it's for you and your agency. That's what
sounds like it was a really good conference.
It was really good. It was really, 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 really good. It's like I was speaking to Tom McGee a couple of weeks ago, and he said about the fishing in the same ideas pool is a bad idea. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't like industry events for starters. So I like these other sort of outline events. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Good. It was good.
Good. Speaking of not liking the events, we're talking about the lack of collaboration in this industry, and it's something that is a bit of a pet peeve of mine, where people will. There's a phrase up north. It's a little bit rude, and it's where you say, "Don't piss on me leg and tell me it's raining." So people are telling you what they know you want to hear, but in actual fact, they're not doing you any favors. And I think that happens a lot here. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got some really good guys, like, you know, when you go to these conferences, and, you know, some really good guys I'm going to have a chat and a little glass of wine with tonight, and they're great, but they're not my competitors. You know, they're not my next door neighbor, so to speak, in business. And I think we need to get over ourselves. And it does take, because it's such a big industry, and there's so much animosity within that industry, it's going to take a hell of a lot for a load of agents to just draw a line in the sand, put plant that stake in the sand, flag in the sand, and say, do you know what? I'm going to collaborate with you, whether you like it or not. It doesn't mean one person has to make that first stand. It means like a lot of people have, because otherwise it's just not going to work. I mean, you look at America, they will share listings, and they will share, you know, business and all sorts of stuff. And the sooner we can get to that, the better. Now, the main reason for that is because the fees are so bloody good over there. You know, they can get 4% of like a 10 million quid house or a 5 million quid house. You don't mind giving 2% of that away, because you're still going to come out with 6 months worth of wages or income. But the sooner we can get over ourselves and collaborate, I mean, you know, case in point, you and Chris Watkin, you get on really well. You know, you pass business to him, he passes business to you. And I think that's a really, really healthy way to run your business and life.
I think it's relationships. There's other content providers that I tell people to avoid.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm just being honest. But yeah, I think, I agree with you. I see it in my town, funnily enough, because it's a small town where I live now. I think there's free agents that are in with each other, and they seem to work together. I get the sense they seem to work together. Where there's another two that are too commercially minded, if that makes sense, and they won't have anything. They just no. So yeah, I think that's a really good point about collaboration. Interesting.
Well, I get on with anyone, right? I'm very much old fashioned. If I shake your hand, that's happening. I don't need a bit of contract, but I will. And you know, there's a couple of guys up here, isn't it? You know, I shout out to Ben Quintrell from My Property Box, really good guy. I meet up with him quite often. You know, a couple of the guys up here that I know get on really, really well. But I know, and not only the guys I've mentioned, but one will come to me slagging him off. That one will come to me slagging him off. But then they'll talk to each other, and I'll see them like best buddies and pals and buying each other drinks. And you're like, you've just called them worse some crap last week or the week before. And I think that two-facedness of it just needs to go. It just, I'm the same as you, Jerry. I'll tell people, I'll pass people to Stevie Brown, you know, and other coaching clients based on this is what you need. And then I'll tell them to avoid coaches because I know the one, they're not right for them, or two, they're disingenuous and they're not the right person for anyone. So, you know, we need to collaborate a lot more.
Yeah, I think you're right though. It's a strange one because I'd say I think it's got worse recently. Because when I first started in the industry, we used to work with a lot of other agents in different ways. But you think with social media and more connections, it would improve, but I don't think it has. I don't think it has.
I think it's got worse, especially in times where tough. Then you don't want to be passing potential business away. I see a lot more people taking on work that is not congruent to their values, and I think that's a good way of describing it. When you don't have your values and you don't know what you stand for or what you fall for, then you'll take on everything. And it's, we don't do commercial, so we'll pass commercial away. I don't do students, so we'll pass students and HMOs away. We're very clear on what we're good at, but we're also clear on what we're not so good at. And I think if it falls outside your remit, just pass it away. And don't be all about, I need a referral fee. Just do it because it's nice.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's a very good point. Oh, Paolo.
Yeah. So last thing from me, and then hopefully Jerry's got something a bit more cheerful.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's loads of people reaching out to me at the moment with Facebook that's causing problems. I just want to highlight, if people are getting stuck, get in touch. So one of the things you're going to see sort of raising in groups at the moment is that Facebook is making so many changes, pages getting banned, blocked at the moment. So we're actually running a webinar in about a week and a half's time, which is going to actually give tips and advice on this, because it's happening more and more. So if anyone out there is struggling with blocked accounts, Facebook pages getting restricted and need some advice, then obviously get in touch. But this is mainly down to Facebook making some big changes in the housing sector and property at the moment. And there's quite a few things that you could be doing which could get you into trouble for no reason. So keep an eye out for that webinar. We'll go through it.
Will you put the link in there in all the groups, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'll put the link in the groups. And as I say, this is there's no sale on this. It's just to give agents, many agents, possible advice. Because
that's the thing about you, Paul. Always giving. You're selfless. Saint Paul of Facebook. He should be called. I've got 2 minutes before I have to go, gentlemen. So
your good news.
Good news. So we have a section called Mad, Sad, and Glad. So I'm just glad this month is the 3rd birthday of the Estate Agent Content Club, and thank you very much. And we've grown a little bit during that time. So I'm just glad for the people like yourselves, like you, JP, like you, Paul, and for all the members, for people like Chris Watkin, rival, but a friend, just for helping us get to this point of time. And to be honest, I just see it as just the beginning. And that's why I'm not fazed by the financial downturn. If it turns down for 6 months, 12 months, so be it. But we'll just be so ready for when it comes back firing.
Excellent.
That's that. And on that note, am I allowed to go?
Yeah, you go. We'll stop.
You saw it out. It's like the viewing figures will plummet, but we've got to go, mate. See you later, guys.
See you, mate.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad. I am glad for Michelle Gallagher. I know we were talking about this earlier on. She's won the 2nd year off the belt, the estate agency, best estate agency in the UK. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. She works her proverbial nuts off. And what I like about her is she's always humble. She's always curious. She's always asking questions. It doesn't make a difference that she's, won it last year and then she still asks questions throughout the year. She's won it again this year. I tell you what, she'll be asking questions at the weekend.
Yeah.
And she always gives credit. She thankfully she's, said, oh, well done to Paul or Jerry or John. I really ask, like that thing you talked about, stretch targets or whatever. Yeah. And it's just nice. She's a nice person. And I think well deserved. So well done her. Yeah. Everybody else clearly were crap. She was great. Well done.
And also well done to everyone else who won awards, because I know
absolutely. Except for our competitors. I hope you choke on it. I hope you lost it on the train back up north.
So on that note, I think there's a good one to finish on. Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks then.